You know what's funny?
What?
We sat down, immediately had to pee. So might as well just start it.
Yeah, why not? Hello, welcome to episode 5 of Chirp, an internet show.
Yes. It is a show on the internet.
Yes, where we chirp. I just realized Apex Legends is on that.
That's what I was telling you when we were doing mic tests.
Dude,
What do you listen?
I completely blanked.
That's the only thing you're supposed to listen to is the audio.
Was that the first time?
Yeah,
I
you
listened?
said keep talking, and I said I'm drinking a White Monster sponsored by Apex.
I think that's when the audio was down on the headphones, and I was just focusing on how quiet it was.
Well.
What a great start.
Yeah.
Should we just jump right into it? This is a pretty big episode.
We've got some amazing news.
Yes.
So I'll let you tell it from your perspective, and then I'll tell it from mine. Actually, I don't know if I want to tell mine first. No, you can start. You go.
I have a sneeze just built up right now, and all right, it's gone. I feel like your side would be a great start.
All right. So picture this, all right? It's like 9 o'clock at night. I'm sitting in the office at work doing absolutely nothing because I like to make fun of my coworkers for never doing anything and then proceed to sit in the office and do nothing. But I was just on my phone doing just chilling in the office, and I get a little notification on my phone that says Andrew Panton is now following you. And I was like, what the my first thing I said was, what the fuck?
It was from the Chirp TikTok, wasn't it? Or not TikTok, Twitter.
Well, at this point, I don't know.
Oh,
so,
right.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because I think Twitter doesn't, because you know how on Instagram, if you have multiple accounts, it'll tell you what the notification's for?
Yeah.
If I remember right, Twitter doesn't do that. So, the first thing that flew through my mind was, this is a fake account, because I had just followed Andrew on Twitter.
Yeah.
Which, for no one that doesn't know, Andrew Panton is a host of Fuckface Podcast, who has been Sam's favorite podcast for a long time, and I've started to listen to. I'm like 15 episodes deep now, and it's my favorite podcast ever.
It's very funny.
It's so, because it's Gavin and Jeff from Rooster Teeth and their buddy Andrew. And it's some of the funniest things. It's so, old Rooster Teeth, and it's so funny.
Something to kind of explain it, they never talk about real world topics, I guess, like politics or I guess new movies and stuff like that. Stuff we talk about. They just talk about Andrew Panton and what he's doing that week.
Because the man is a psychopath.
He really is.
He's the craziest dude. But it came up on my phone. It said, Andrew Panton is now following. And I'm like, oh, it's one of those bots. Because sometimes you you follow someone famous and then it'll be like, oh, Charlie D'Amelio is now following you.
Yeah.
But it's like charlied'amelio.official.fan page or something. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, this is on my account and it's fake. But I clicked on it and it said signed in as your weekly chirp. And the thing popped up and it was actually Andrew because it had 25,000 followers. And I was scrolling through and I was like, this is actually him. And it said, under his name, it said follows you. And I was like, oh my God. The first thing I did, I wish I would have saved the screenshot of the notification, but I didn't think it was real at that time.
Yeah.
But I did take a picture of his thing, which I'll send it to you. We can put it on the screen because it just blew my mind because it says Andrew Panton follows you. And yeah, that was my side. And then the first thing I did was I took a screenshot of it and I sent it to you.
Yeah. This is how it all started.
Yeah.
I was sitting at home watching YouTube on my phone. And I have Andrew's tweet notifications on. And for the past few weeks, he's been doing a thing where he'll be like, oh, call this number and I'll talk to you for, 5 minutes about anything.
Yeah.
It's one of those disposable numbers, I guess, where you just use them to
because
interact
he's got that
with
burner
fans.
phone.
Yeah. But I was like, fuck it, why not? I'll give it a call. I called it and immediately the operator came on and it was like, this person is now busy, please leave a message after the beep. And I took that as a sign to just spam the number.
There you go.
It got to the point where I was taking a shit and just spamming the number. And I finished pooping. I'm washing my hands. and I call the number again. And this time it rings more than twice. And I'm like, oh shit. And then I hear, hello? And I'm just like, Andrew? And he's like, yeah, man. Like, what's your name? Where are you from? And I was like, oh my God.
Yes. I would freak out.
I immediately geeked out. I was just like, dude, I love your podcast. You're like one of the funniest people. And I got my geeking out done early.
There you go.
Because I had a proposal for him. Like a kind of a business proposal in a way.
Okay, tell me more.
This will come out after I already do everything, so I'll
Yeah.
just say it. I thought it'd be really funny to put some of the audio clips on TikTok, but make it in a way to where they're visual with these crazy subtitles and pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah, because they're audio only.
Yeah, and they don't do a lot of marketing for their podcast
No,
other
'cause
than
it's hard to. You know?
Rooster Teeth's other podcast.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, you'll be able to expand to a younger audience. That's how we got a few followers.
Yeah, that's all we ever did was post on TikTok.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, yeah, like, so you said you have a podcast. And I go, yeah, it's called Your Weekly Chirp. And he goes, Your Weekly what? And I'm like, Chirp. And he goes, isn't chirp a hockey term? I was like, all right, I know you're Canadian. But we basically make fun of, in a friendly, joking kind of way, we make fun of creators, not to, like, hurt creators,
Yeah.
because, you know, they'll never fucking watch this.
Yeah, just goof on them, you know?
Yeah. And he looked us up on Twitter, which immediate facepalm, because that is our least used social media. Basically, our Instagram doesn't exist. We have a page, but we upload on TikTok and YouTube, basically.
Yeah.
And he looked us up. I think we have like 70-something followers on Twitter.
Do we? That's kind of a lot. That's more than I thought it was.
But
We have,
now
like,
it's 71.
Let's go.
Because Andrew said, yeah, I'll give you a follow. And this was last night. And all day today, I was just checking the Twitter to make sure he was still following us. And he is.
Once he followed, I checked like 20 minutes later to see if he was still following. Because I feel like that's something he would do. Or not him, but I
Yeah.
feel like it's someone would be like, hey, I'll give you a follow on Twitter. And then like a couple of hours later when you forget about it, they just unfollow you.
Something he did say was when he saw our Twitter page, he said he liked the bird,
Yes.
which is a logo Cody made.
That's funny. I'll talk about the bird. The bird logo was, I get very ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just a thing about me. I like doing things on my own. And, you know, that's like how it was with the podcast and all that. So I was like, I could definitely make a logo for this. Like, easy peasy. I was like, in my head, I was like, this is the easiest shit I'll ever do. And then I started, and I found out that I have no drawing talent. Like, I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert in anything, but
Yeah.
I have a couple expertise. You know, I like Photoshop, and I was like, but Photoshopping is very like manipulating a photo is very different than just like drawing something.
Yeah.
So the first sketches were in Photoshop, but I was like, I can't get like the mouse movement to do what I wanted. So, and I conveniently was running an iPad that came with an Apple Pencil from my university.
Mm-hmm.
And I shit you not, I drew that bird sitting in my Physics 1 class, engineering physics, in college. I was sitting in class and just drawing it on an iPad that I borrowed from the university, which I still have, by the way. They just never asked for it back.
For the school you go to, no, he doesn't.
Yes, I returned it. You can check the files. But yeah, that bird, that was a very nice thing to hear because that's a bird that when I first did it, and you guys were like, "Oh, that's pretty good." I just immediately was like, I fucking hate it. After like staring at it for an hour, it just drove me insane.
We've been talking about a new logo for a bit now, but now that the host of a very popular podcast said he liked it.
Now that he said he liked it, now I like it more.
Yeah.
But it's not a good drawing.
We could probably expand upon it.
But. Yeah, I always said, I think if we could find some guy on Fiverr that would just draw it for like super cheap. I mean, I'd pay like $50 if it was like an actual good logo of like a high definition bird. Because I that's all I wanted was I wanted a bird yelling into a microphone. And I remember like, dude, I did some shit for that. I was like looking up reference photos. This is the funny thing. I was looking up reference photos of like parrots because it's supposed to be a parrot because like parrots like mimic and chirp, like mimic voices, and I just want to be like, but I'll tell you this: the beak is like. The inspiration for the beak came from like an Angry Bird screenshot. I swear to God, like I was looking at real beaks and I was like, I can't fucking draw this. It was the hardest shit ever. And finally I was like, I think I looked up like cartoon bird yelling and it was like Angry Birds. And I was like, this is it. This is what I need to draw. And that's kind of what I mimicked to make the, but I want a new logo. But it's nice that he appreciated it. Yeah. You want to know a fun fact about the logo?
Sure.
It's not a perfect circle.
You tell me that all the time.
I don't know. I guess whenever, like, when I was using the app, I just, like, there's like a little circle tool, and I thought it was a circle. But if you look at it when it's like especially on Twitter and like TikTok, it's like, you could tell that it's like squished this way. It's not a perfect circle. But that is awesome to have like recognition from someone that you actually enjoy.
That you look up to in a way.
Yeah. Like it's cool to have like that little moment of, because even if he like, I mean, I don't think he'll ever listen to it. But I mean, I'm excited for this because if you actually like,
well, at the end of the call, I brought up the proposition again, the proposal, and he said, "Yeah, I follow you now, so just DM me." And I was like, "All right, awesome. Yeah, like you're awesome. Love the podcast. Keep doing what you're doing." Stuff like that, like normal fan stuff. Yeah, and it ended. And then later, I don't know how much later, whenever you saw he followed us, you saw our bio, and it said, like, listen on Spotify. Yes. We're not on Spotify anymore.
Not anymore, because we stopped paying for it.
So what is our new bio?
It just says, Andrew Panton follows us. Because if there's one thing you need to know about our podcast, it's not where to listen to it. It's not who's on it. It's the fact that Andrew motherfucking Panton follows us on Twitter.
Okay. That verified TikToker commenting on our TikTok.
Yes.
Us blowing up.
Yeah.
Andrew Panton following us. We're only going up.
I don't even remember the fucker's name that commented on our shit.
It was when we made fun of H3H3, and he was like, I actually like H3H3.
No, it's when we were making fun of the Trisha podcast or whatever.
Yeah, it was like frenemies.
He's like, I actually like it. Well, fuck you, bud. It doesn't exist anymore.
That was fucking awesome.
Oh, man. Like, joke's on you.
And we're still here. We may have taken 8 months, but we're still here.
Yeah. Took a little break. Man. But yes, in terms of like things, because I'm not a big, I don't like make the effort to talk to celebrities. I don't know how to explain this. Yeah. So the fact that like you actually like got a hold of him. I mean, the only thing I close to is do you know like Preston, the Minecraft YouTuber? Yeah. So he used to not play only Minecraft. He used to play Call of Duty, and I used to watch him while he played Call of Duty. And I remember one time I tweeted him, and then he would tweet it back, and I remember like exploding with excitement. But that's about it. But the fact that like you actually just like you had a phone call with him, like I've only ever gotten like a tweet or something or like a like, You gotta fucking you talk to him. That's crazy.
Ray Narvaez Jr. said my name once,
Yes.
thanks to you.
Oh
was
well,
awesome.
I guess he did read my chat message, but
Yeah, but it just blew my mind. And I actually, this is so fucking stupid. I wrote down all the main topics from that experience on a post-it note because I was starting to forget everything. I
Yeah.
had such an adrenaline rush, and I was like, "Wait, what the fuck happened?"
that's something. Yeah, that's smart that you wrote it down
Yeah.
for like posterity.
Oh, fuck, man. It was just crazy.
Yeah, that's like one of those things where it's like, damn, now we gotta fucking keep going.
I'm gonna put it up on screen. Guess how many times I tried to call him?
I'm gonna go 23.
I called him 31 times.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And because it's one of those disposable numbers and he works for Rooster Teeth, which is based in Austin, Texas, but he lives in Canada, the number is based in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
So, what an experience.
Yeah, that just makes me excited.
When you texted me saying like, "Sam, something just happened."
Yes, I said Sam, hold up, something happened or something like that.
And you sent the screenshot, I was still on the phone with him.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, I just got Andrew Pan to follow us on Twitter.
Because I thought and that's funny because like I don't know how to explain it, but when it first happened and I first found out it was actually Andrew Pan, I was like, holy shit, Andrew Pan's a fan of us. And then the fact that like you said that you did it, I was like, a part of me was like, oh my god, like you talked to Andrew, now Andrew knows who he is. And then I was like, so Andrew doesn't listen to the podcast?
Exactly.
I swear to God, that's the first thing. I was like, so he's like not like a fan? Which like doesn't diminish the experience at all. It was like at the beginning I thought like somehow Andrew Payton found us and thought we were like entertaining.
The craziest part about this guy, I barely know what he looks like. I have no idea what he does other than the podcast and stream.
I've seen one picture of Andrew Panton.
It's the one with the fake mustache.
Yes.
Oh, that's the only picture of him. Like, you can't find another one.
That's funny. Yeah, I know. I don't even know what he looks like, but yeah, just someone that I just listen to every day. Yeah, that's crazy. Someone
All
I
of a sudden
admire.
follows you.
Yes, follows us on Twitter. That's just.
Thank you, Andrew Panton.
So, like, I don't remember what it's called, but I guess if we can call it the Addison Rae movie, we can call it the Charlie D'Amelio Show.
I'm pretty sure it's just the D'Amelio Show.
So the D'Amelio Show came out on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie, I planned on watching the whole thing today, but I had a raging headache, and the last thing I needed was to hear the D'Amelios talk for like 5 hours through my headache. But I did watch the first episode, and I know you've watched the first few.
I watched the first 3, and I believe the third one ended with them like at the Kids' Choice Awards.
That's cool.
Yeah.
A little bit of a review of it so far. I know I haven't seen the whole thing. The first episode, I would be lying if I said I hated it. Do you agree?
I agree. There were parts of it I didn't like, but there were also parts of it that stood out in a good way to me.
When I heard it was a show about the D'Amelios, first thing that kind of like ran through my head was like a reality TV show, kind of like a Kardashians type thing.
I had the exact same thing.
And the fact that it wasn't, I was a little bit pleased by.
Basically, the show, whenever I saw the trailer for the show, it looked like a Kardashian type show.
Yeah.
When you think reality TV, you think of the Kardashians.
But at least the first episode, there's like a little theme going on about how like, you know, they were just a family and then just like all this shit went down, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, a part of me thought that was kind of wholesome. It is a
Yeah.
little bit like, from an outsider, it's a little bit annoying for them to be like, oh, our life is so hard, you know, because we've got to meet up to do these merch deals and we've got to meet up with Dixie to produce a song. And then, oh, we've got our American or Hollister, American Eagle, whatever collab. And,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we're starting a clothing line. And, oh, there's a part where the mom's talking and she's like, what should the podcast be called? I'm like, oh my fucking God. But, a part of me like felt bad.
I did feel bad.
A part of me was like, the one thing that stuck with me, um, and this was something that I had never thought of before. I guess because I had never seen it, but there's that shot in the first episode where some guy who I assume is their like manager, head of their like agency or whatever, he's like, "Come here, Charlie, let's talk about stuff." They've got like 30 binders on the floor.
And they're all full.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's like all of the descriptions of
Isn't it like her whole year?
yes, it's which is scary to me. But it's
Yeah.
like every brand deal, every like content thing that she's doing, just all laid out for her.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Oh my God."
She's 17.
Yeah, and she's probably what, 16 at that time? I don't know when they
Yeah.
filmed this actually, but she's younger than us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shoot. At 16, I was playing Counter-Strike for 9 hours a day. Like, I don't know how you do that. And that has to be scary as being like a small child.
Yeah.
And that was just something that I guess you would never ever see. So I guess the show did something good there where it kind of exposed what their life is like now,
Yeah.
which I guess people would never know.
I thought it wouldn't do a good job of that, showing the, deep, cutting moments, but it did.
Yeah, and there's that really good part with her mom that's like, when does she have time to like be a kid,
Mm-hmm.
like practice dance and stuff? And
Yeah.
the guy kind of gives like a half-ass answer. He's like, we're definitely her growing up is our number one priority, but he's like, dude, he says some fucking comment that almost like pissed me off. He's like, you'll notice that there's some breaks in between where she can like practice dance or go to competitions and stuff. And I was just like, fuck you, dude. Like,
Mhm.
no way. Like that, I felt so bad for her. I really did.
There were no, I was going to say characters. There were no, I guess, people in the show that stood out to me as, I guess, bad. Mark
Yeah.
D'Amelio talked like twice.
Because I think he's just there for the ride.
Yeah.
Like he somehow produced 2 money machines.
He's like how Caitlyn Jenner was when she was Bruce.
Yeah.
He would just walk around in the background.
That's dude. Mark somehow hit like the life lottery. He did the like. I feel like the one thing you want to do is to grow children that can financially support you. And
Yeah.
he somehow hit the magical lottery.
But something that really stood out to me is whenever you think D'Amelio, you think Charlie.
Yeah.
Immediately. She's the biggest TikToker ever. But Dixie stood out to me more as, I guess, a star of the show.
Yeah. Okay.
Because, like we said, whenever you think reality TV, you think of the Kardashians. But this did a complete 180 for me at the end. Whenever all of a sudden they put up the mental health warning.
Really?
Yeah. Did you watch the whole first episode?
Yeah.
At the end, Dixie had like that breakdown.
Oh
think.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see that warning. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
lie, I was kind of half watching, but
Yeah.
yeah, like that's one of those things where I guess you never see the side of that.
Yeah.
And I know like there are like some content creators that will like that are advocates for that. They like to talk about it, but I mean to see it at like a giga superstar level, like I feel like that's kind of like corny as fuck to say. But someone of their popularity, like they even show like God, they show the one clip where she's like crying because like paparazzi are like right outside the car, and like that's some shit I could never deal with, like that. And that's one of those things that I like to see, that I think no one doesn't realize, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then it's like you've got all this shit going on, and then you're like, by the way, this is a 16-year-old like girl.
Something about the show that I thought was fucking badass was throughout each episode, they'll show comments that people left.
Yeah.
Which they're definitely real comments because I feel like they've gotten every comment under the sun.
Yeah.
But they don't show who said it, which is nice. But Dixie is a badass.
Yeah.
Because people are like, you're only famous because of your sister. She gave you everything. And she goes, hell yeah, I am.
Yeah.
She's like, what? Of course.
That's funny. I agree with that. Like, if I was Dixie, like I've always wanted to be like Frankie Jonas.
Yeah.
Like he gets to go on tour, he gets to like travel the world with them, but he doesn't have to go on stage.
He doesn't have to do shit, man.
Frank the Tank, let's go.
Frank the Tank.
I'm telling you, if I could be a Jonas brother, I'd be Frankie.
But that's not the most badass thing Dixie has done. They put Griffin on blast. Her ex-boyfriend, Griffin Johnson.
Really?
Yes.
In the show?
In the show. They go into depth about how, I think episode 2 is about her relationship with Noah Beck, her current boyfriend. And he's actually a nice guy in the show.
I like Noah Beck.
I know nothing about Noah Beck. Dude is a genuinely nice guy.
Yeah, like I'd never. He's not like Bryce, who I think Bryce was always like a
the TikTok bad boy.
Yeah, I was gonna say like hood rat.
Hood rat, a tunnel snake.
Yeah, he was always kind of like, I don't know how to explain it.
But in episode 2, I'm gonna get back to Griffin in a second. But at this point, Dixie like surprises him on a date, which she apparently never does because she just doesn't have time for it.
Yeah.
And they go to a beach where this whole thing is set up, like a little camp out on the beach. And this is the point where I was, my bad, where I was like, all right, this is fake for the show. You know, she didn't do this.
Yeah.
The producers did it. But at some point, there's a chalkboard next to it, and there's an Instagram handle where it says this was set up by blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, oh, she probably really did this for him. She could have just Instagrammed those people and been like, hey, do this for us.
Yeah.
So, but it did make great reality TV.
Yeah. But I feel like I went into it just wanting to like dog on the show.
Yeah.
Because like that's I just had like the hate goggles on watching the Addison Rae movie. But this was kind of a nice little thing. I don't know how to explain it.
I will finish the show.
I think I will too.
Yeah.
Because we've never seen such a like personal life. Like this is something that like I don't think would ever exist. But like I've always wanted to see like a PewDiePie, like something about like PewDiePie. PewDiePie is immensely successful. But I also don't think he has a lot of stress. I'd like to see a more stressed YouTuber like look into their life.
This is a good comparison, I think. They are, in a way, the modern day young Justin Bieber.
Yes. Okay.
And if we got a documentary about Justin Bieber's young life, I feel like this would be it.
Yeah, because
he was 13 when he blew up?
Yeah, it's something crazy. But like, I mean, yeah, a 16-year-old girl that has like 100 million followers, 100 million people follow a 16-year-old girl, judging everything she does. I mean, like I think we've talked about before how I fucking hate the Hollywood fix.
Yeah.
And I just like, I don't think that it'll ever click in like a paparazzi's head that it's like you are like just invading their lives.
Yeah.
And that sucks. Like, and I think it does a good job of showing, especially because like they talk about, at least in the first episode, they talk about Dixie's anxiety, which, first off, I was a little upset. Actually, I wasn't a little upset, but the D'Amelios have a dog named Cody.
They do.
So I was just like, fuck, I guess Cody's like a dog name to the D'Amelios. But a part of me was like, because Cody's not a very popular name. And I've never heard it as a dog name. So the fact that D'Amelios were like, hey, look, Cody the dog. I was just like, okay.
Something I wanted to say about the whole Griffin situation
Yeah.
is whenever they were talking about Noah Beck, she said a lot of my anxiety with dating comes from being publicly cheated on. And they show a TikTok of his song, how he wrote a diss track about her. And they play a bit from the diss track. They put him on fucking blast in this show.
Good.
And in episode 3, she's preparing for her first live performance on, I think it's Sirius XM or iHeartRadio or something.
Yeah.
But her vocal coach is with her there saying, you can hit these notes, what's the song about? And she goes, being cheated on. And I guess they're like joking around with her. And she goes, by Griffin Johnson. Just, this kid is done from this show.
Yeah.
I don't think he's done, but, the D'Amelios are, A-listers now.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I would say so.
They're not actors, but A-list celebrities.
Like, I even feel like a grandma. No, I don't think so, actually. Because, like, a grandma might know who, like, the Kardashians are, but I don't know if they'll know who the D'Amelios are. But I don't even know if they would know who the Kardashians are. But they're definitely, like, even if, because I guess, like, internet culture now has become so synonymous with, like, pop culture that if you are relevant, if you are fluent in internet culture, you know who the D'Amelios are. If you know what TikTok is, you probably know what the D'Amelios are.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was a very cool experience to see the lives of someone like that. Because I don't think anyone ever thinks about that. And I especially don't think that anybody that thinks about, like, I think older people who don't understand, like, YouTubers and people who do it as, like, a career make content, I don't think they understand that it's not easy.
Next topic?
Yeah. Might as well jump around. We could talk about the Jake Paul fight. Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, that happened a couple weeks ago. Tyron Woodley is based in St. Louis. We are just outside of St. Louis, so we were like, hey, let's go.
The only thing I'm sad about is I did not put money on Jake Paul. Because did I not say Jake Paul would win?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I don't know why. I just, like, I don't know. I can't bet against Jake Paul. It's just this weird thing where, but talking about the fight, so I didn't watch anything except for the last one. But there was no, like, singers, right?
No.
Which, thank God, is a good thing.
Other than, like, them walking out and people singing next.
But there was no, like, what was the...
There was, like, DJ Khaled at the TikTok YouTuber one.
Yeah, what was the one we watched where it had, like... Was it Doja Cat?
There was Doja Cat, Justin Bieber.
Which one was that one?
That was Jake Paul versus Ben Askren.
That fight was horrendous to watch because there was like 5 music performances in between these fights.
The highlight of that was Pete Davidson.
Yes, Pete was funny.
He was fucking hilarious.
But, yeah, I was glad. But the actual fight was pretty good.
That was a good fight.
I thought it was entertaining.
Jake Paul won...
by split decision.
Yeah, he won most of the rounds. But I think the most entertaining rounds were won by Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, he looked very like passive. It was very weird. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know how he is as a fighter. Cuz was he an MMA fighter?
Yeah, he was a former UFC welterweight champion.
Okay.
Before he was dethroned by Kamaru Usman.
Oh, you're throwing all
I'm
kinds
throwing
of stuff.
facts.
Yeah,
Kobe's not here. We need a sports guy.
true. But I thought it was a entertaining fight. I kind of liked the stuff that Jake Paul did when he was like the part where he like licked his boxing gloves. I genuinely I kind of laughed at that. Like
I thought it was really funny.
I think that's a good way to like get in their head.
I think the biggest flex of the night was Jake Paul's fucking shorts, man.
He had LED lights in his shorts.
It was like a jumbotron on his
Yes.
waistline, and it would go around his waist with his name on it.
Like that is the most gangster thing I've ever seen.
It was so cool.
Like, how do you just like how is that allowed, first off?
I don't know. But whenever they would do slow-mo replays, it was a strobe light.
Yeah,
and
because
it was very distracting. I think the best part of that entire experience, though, was Barstool, Dave Portnoy, and Big Cat
Big Cat.
were there to... Barstool sponsored the event.
Yeah.
And they were there to give you recommendations on betting. I think out of all the fights, I'm pretty sure there were 5 or 6 fights. I think they lost almost all of them. I watched the first fight. I couldn't see what they bet because I showed up late. But after that first fight, they didn't win a single bet because they didn't talk about who they were betting on together, but they announced it on air. And they never win when they're together. But I'm pretty sure they did bet on Jake Paul. All right, I lied. They won 2, probably.
Oh, they did bet on Jake Paul?
But at the very last fight, they're like, oh, we never win when we bet together. And I think they bet on Jake Paul. And it looked like Jake was going to lose at some point. He got knocked into the ropes.
Yeah, they didn't count that as a knockdown, right?
No, they didn't, but I think that's stupid because if the ropes weren't there, he'd be down.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I thought it was kind of dumb too, but
I'm not a big boxing guy. I'm more MMA,
but a rematch is coming.
Yeah, once Tyron Woodley gets the I Love Jake Paul tattoo.
I love that clip too because he says, "Get the tattoo. I love Jake Paul." And he's like, "Gonna do it," and without hesitation, he says, "Bet." And everyone, dude, I think I remember like Logan's face. He was like,
he's like, "You're old news, bro."
Dude, I'm gonna switch topics real quick. Speaking of Logan Paul, did you see that shit that one guy did?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about from that vague question.
But that guy quit his job, snuck into, I don't even remember what it was.
It was the fight.
It was the fight?
Yeah.
To go talk to Logan Paul and ask for a job. It is the single most like cringy thing I've ever seen.
That was the best Logan Paul has looked in years.
Yes, because first off, I did some research about this. This is the first time I've ever done research. This is crazy. Which, by research, I mean I think I watched the clip more than once, so I remembered stuff. Mm-hmm. But the kid's like 22, so kind of around our age.
Yeah,
makes $100K a year. That's more than like the majority of America. Like that is an insane amount of money to make at such a young age. $100,000. And this is what he did. He lived in Ohio because he had to mention that.
Yeah.
He quit his job, making $100,000 by the way. Flew to LA, snuck into the fight to talk to Logan Paul. And dude, he says like the dumbest shit I've ever heard. He's like, "Hey, I'm here to talk business. I'm trying to get a job." And look, I'm not like a marketing Andy. I'm not like some Hollywood executive. But to like lead into being like, "I want you to give me a job."
Yeah.
That's such a bad idea. Like, that's the worst way to open it. Like, it was better when he was like, "I'm from Cleveland." Because then he can like kind of connect with him. But then like, dude, what the fuck does Logan Paul's like, "Okay, so what are you good at?" And he's like, just like loses it. He's like, "I've been posting on TikTok." And dude, like Logan says something. I don't even remember.
Logan said something like, "Let me see your page. Let me see what your page looks like, how many followers you have, stuff like that. Like, smart business.
Yeah.
But at one point, Logan said the funniest thing I've heard, and I think I know what you're trying to think of. Logan said, "I can't give you a job. My circle's like this.
Yeah.
Okay, we are very tight."
Which is just like true.
Yeah, and Logan's like, "You just got to get some of your friends, stuff like that, to make videos with." And the guy's like, "I don't have friends." And Logan's like, "You don't have friends?"
Which, like, that's like one of those things, because he was like, hey, he had like a genuine point. Like, I don't know, but it's just like, it's so like, but the thing was, is like, people were like mad at like Logan Paul for that.
There's no reason for them to be mad.
I don't think so either.
Someone snuck illegally into a fight to try to get a job from him.
It's not even like sneaking in illegally that bothers me, because like that shows like dedication.
Yeah,
but the fact that he walked in and was like, hey, I really have like nothing to provide. I don't have any talents, because I think Logan asked him, he's like, what are you good at? And I think he said something about fucking TikTok dances. Like, no, motherfucker. Logan Paul does not want a motherfucker that can post a couple TikTok dances. Like, he should have came in and been like, I'm a good editor. I'm a good Photoshopper. You know, I'm good with lights.
I'm good with social media.
Yeah, like I know how to run a podcast or something. But this dude just says like, I'm here to talk business and I want a job. That is like so entitled that it was like physically nauseating to watch. Like, I don't know. Like, it just like, here, let's compare it to us. You know, you didn't say something like, Andrew Panton, let's talk business, I want a job. Because he probably would have been like, fuck you, and hung up.
I feel like he would have said, I can't hire people. I'm just a host.
Exactly. But like, that's the thing though, is like, you said, I have an idea. Yeah. You gave him something that you could provide him for his time.
Yeah.
This motherfucker did not do that. He said, I want a job. Like, fuck, what do you want to do? Fucking clean Logan Paul's ears? Like, what do you want? Like another $100K job just working for Logan Paul? Like, no. Like, at least when you were networking, you were the network Andy in the situation. You said, you were like, you know, I know it's worth your time. I'm going to explain this quick because we've only got 5 minutes on this phone call. I've got this idea for you. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, and now you're going to DM him later. You're going to show him some stuff. You're going to make it worth his time.
Yeah.
You didn't say, hey, Andrew, I want a job. I quit my part-time job at a department store. Like, that's what I got out of that. And that's...
Oh, my God.
And, yeah, like, any motherfucker could do that. I'm sure 1,000 people a day DM Logan Paul and ask for a job.
I bet those people put more effort into it, too. I bet those people send him a resume, say what they're good at, send him proof, and they still can't get hired because, you know, he has such a tight circle.
Which is, like, fine. Like, I don't know how to explain that. Yeah. No matter what anyone thinks, Logan Paul doesn't owe anyone anything. No matter how talented they are as, like, an editor, podcast assistant, or whatever, he doesn't owe you a job. He can say no.
Yeah, he worked for that.
Exactly. So. And that's why, like, I don't know. Like, in terms of, like, networking, too, why the fuck is your first network call going to try to be Logan fucking Paul? Like, you've got, like, you can't, like, start up here. Like, I mean, if you're talking about LA, you've got to, like, start at the little fucking bottom, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was some shit that just blew my fucking mind.
How stupid, man.
Yeah.
$100K a year?
That's what I'm saying. Why the fuck would you give that up? $100,000.
He was set. He was set.
Dude, literally set for life.
I'd be lucky if I saw $1 million. In 10 years, he had it guaranteed.
Yes. And that's excluding the fact that, I mean, I'm sure he was in a career position where he could get
bonuses and raises.
Yeah, he could. I mean, I'm sure he was in a good spot if he's already making $100K at college graduate time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but
Poor kid, man.
yeah, not any network Andes, I guess.
No.
But now we're making connections. Look at us, big ballers, big dog, big nuts.
Big nuts. You hear that, Garfield? I was so upset I didn't mention Garfield and
I know.
You brought it up and I was pissed. He used to hold the world record for most maps in Garfield Kart, which isn't it like a ripoff of Mario Kart or something like that?
Isn't there some shit too that like it was like Garfield Kart 2?
Yeah, it wasn't even the first
some
one.
guy was like, he's like, you're taking it from me. He's like, I have, because he said, I think he used to say Garfield Kart Legend.
Yeah.
But the guy's like, yours in Garfield Kart 2, mine's in Garfield Kart 1, because the guy that on the world records.
I love what he said about that. He's like, this motherfucker cheats. He goes through walls. I do it legit.
I love that. Yeah.
We have a few more topics, but I think we should just end it there.
I agree. I think this was a very productive talk. Talked about networking, talked about mental health for content creators.
And talked about an idiot who quit an $100,000 job.
Yeah. Yes.
To get a, hand-me-down from Logan Paul.
Yeah, and then go cry in his Audi.
Poor kid. It's what we do. We chirp.
Yeah, I don't hate the guy.
Yeah.
I just think he's stupid.
If you do something stupid, we have a right to critique you.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm fucking saying. But
one last thing we want to touch on before we go.
Yes.
Nice mutton chops.
Yeah. So I if you haven't noticed, then you're probably not watching the video, but I've had chops this whole time. I've had chops for a week. Here, I'll move the
Nice profile.
Yeah. I don't got a very good jawline, so but we had a bet at the end of the episode.
I have lost the bet.
Yes. Which, let me say this. I'll talk about my experience with it.
Okay.
So I was supposed to have a week of a lot of face-to-face communication. And I'll say this. My plan worked. So I'll explain. So my Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have an online class, and I meet with a couple buddies for the online class in an actual classroom that we do online together. We watch it. And we take our masks off in the classroom because you're allowed to if you can socially distance, which the tables are, so we do. But I swear to God, because I walked to class with my mask on, I walked in with the mask, and they're like, hey, hey, hey. And then I took the mask off, and they're like, whoa. And I had I'll say this. There was a couple mixed reactions to the chops. Some people were like, oh, okay. Like, I guess this is what you're doing now. And then there were some people that were like, why? But no one ever said it was bad. A couple fraternity brothers said I looked like Arthur Morgan, which I took as a compliment.
That is a very big compliment.
Yes. But once I explained my reasoning, I kind of convinced a couple people. I swear. But this was supposed to be a pretty intense week of face-to-face communication where a bunch of people were going to see the chops. But there was a little COVID incident. So not as many people were going to see me with the chops. But the people that it did matter to, they definitely saw it. But in my personal experience, when I first did it, I fucking hated it.
Really?
That's not that true. Like I knew it was stupid.
So you're not gonna keep them?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
But in the beginning, I was very. When I first shaved, I was so against it. I was like, this was stupid. This was very dumb. And like, cause I shaved on Saturday, I think, or maybe Sunday. But no, Sunday was the first time because I had chapter in person and we're allowed to take our masks off because we can distance. and I got some good feedback. You know, that's when like the Arthur Morgan. My God,
Morger.
I just had a stroke. That's when I had the Arthur Morgan comment, and then I was like, you know, I didn't have bad feedback, so I was like, okay, I think I can rock the chops. So the first couple days, I was pretty okay with it. You know, I was fine. I was like, yeah, this is my look now. You know, I kind of I explained to a few people that it was a bet, and I had to do this. But I explained my reasoning, and I was very confident in my reasoning. That's why I think it kind of boosted it. So the first few days, I would say up until Wednesday, I was rocking the chops. I was vibing with them. I loved them. I guess I didn't love them, but I was okay with it. And I'm not too big of a guy that cares about my appearance, or I don't know, because it's not like it's not like I look bad, but it's not my best. I'll say that, and I don't really care. But as the week went on, I slowly just started to dislike him.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie.
Were you tempted to shave?
Yes. I thought about it, but I was like, when it's like Wednesday night, and I'm like, I just want to shave this so bad. I just like when it's like Thursday, and I'm like, dude, I just want to get rid of this. I want it to be over. I'd rather have a shaved face than the chops. But I was like, I just gotta hold on. It's like 3 more days. I was just like, I'm just gonna stick with it. But I think my week was a little easier than I planned for, because I was gonna have a very daunting week. I mean, this was the week of like recruitment for the fraternity. So I was gonna see a lot of new faces that were just gonna know me as the mutton chop guy. But that got cut short due to the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Little COVID scare. But I don't know.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
You did all of this for it to look good while you have a mask on. Can we see you with a mask on?
Oh, yeah. I actually wanted to prove that. Yeah, I can go get one. Here's my like daily mask. It's just Batman. It's
That's
actually
baller.
I just ran to go get that. I'm not in shape, but so this is my usual mask. What the fuck?
It's upside down both ways.
Huh? I never knew that. But so this is the mask, okay?
All right.
So this is the point I was trying to prove, and I think this proves my point. See, look. So now I'm wearing the mask.
It works.
That's what I'm saying.
It works.
So if you saw me in class, okay, you would have no idea I have mutton chops.
It would. I think it would be so much better though if they were just sideburns. It would be an even bigger reveal. Like that would be so funny. You just like a pale face with just hardcore sideburns.
But like, yes, now I can prove my point, because I forgot to do that. I actually wanted to when we actually made the bet, but we didn't think about it. But if you look at me now, if I was sitting in your class and you didn't know my face, you'd think I'd have some nice facial hair, you know?
Yeah.
I'd have a nice, pretty full beard.
And now the reveal.
But when I take the mask off, fun chops. But the whole point is most people will never see it, you know?
Yeah.
But like this was the problem area.
That's what I was
because
thinking.
the mask pulls up like this.
Yeah.
And I got like the chin hairs that are really like hard. You know, I've got pretty thick hair on my chin. So when it does like this, it like pulls it up and it hurts. But this does not hurt.
You're chilling.
That's what I'm saying. The mutton chops work. And that was the first thing, like when I first tried it, that's the first thing I was thinking of. And I was super hyper aware of my face. But yeah, the chops work. My plan was successful. it was just yes, I know.
Round of applause.
But yeah, in terms of just like the actual Chop's appearance, I don't know. I don't think I pull it off. I'll say that. But
Now it's my turn. I will go a week with a neckbeard. Only neckbeard.
just neck, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't even remember what my punishment was.
You had to play the first Assassin's Creed game to completion.
Which all I'm gonna say is that is a very big time commitment.
Yeah.
But the neck beard is more of like a social commitment.
I've been thinking of, I told you this, I've been thinking of eventually if we started the podcast back up and made bets, I was thinking of punishments to, deal out if we ever did bets.
Yeah.
So I have some written down for, the Assassin's Creed one was the only one I had written down for you.
Huh.
I had some for Clee, I had a lot for Kobe.
Yeah. The thing about Kobe is I feel like Kobe will do anything.
The first one I had on Kobe's was he couldn't flush a toilet at all for a week.
I like that because I feel like Kobe would do it.
Yeah.
But I think the funniest thing is he'd have to like ask someone to like I don't think it was part of the rules that like no toilet he shat in could be flushed. So I like the idea of him being like, "Hey, bro, can you come flush the toilet for me?" That's what I thought was funny about that because I figured he would try to do that, and it's just funny having to ask someone to flush the toilet for you. But now that you've been building up a little like list, I might have to start to as well.
It's fun, man. I feel like an evil genius. I like being bad. Well, okay, I guess we'll stop there.
Yeah.
Next week, Kobe should be back. So, we'll have a third guy.
Yeah. And we'll see if I still have chops.
Yeah, who knows? I will have a neck beard.
Yes.
So
that was part of the rules was I couldn't shave until we filmed again.
Yeah.
And you can't shave till we film again.
Mm-hmm.
So are you going to shave tonight or tomorrow morning?
I'm going to shave tomorrow.
Okay. In the morning. Because you got to start the day with it.
Okay. I can do that.
Or at least before you have your first real world interaction, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yes. I agree with that. Thank you all for watching episode 5 of Chirp, an internet show. I feel like this is definitely the best episode we've had yet.
Yes, in terms of the comeback, I think this is our best episode.
Yeah. Thank you, Andrew Panton, for following us on Twitter. Thank you, the D'Amelios, for making a entertaining reality show.
Yes.
Thank you to that 22-year-old who lost his job. And
no, go fuck yourself. That was a bit harsh. No, but let's hope your boss really liked you.
Yeah. Let's hope your parents cleaned out the basement for you. Thank you all for watching. We will see you next week.
Follow us on TikTok.
Oh, yeah. Fuck. TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram.
Boom.
And YouTube.
Yeah.
Mic drop. I can't drop the mic. We have mic arms now.
Yeah, we were pretty nonchalant about that.
Yeah.
We didn't even bring it up.
We're pretty baller.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.